Hello everyone and welcome to this coding video. In this video, we will be going over a program that uses a struct or a structure to simulate time. Starting from the top of the code, we included the stdio.h library and defined a struct, also known as a structure. One thing to see is that we used the typedef keyword to give a name to our structure. We discussed the typedef keyword before, but as a brief overview, typedef is a reserved keyword in a C programming language, and it is used to create an additional name or alias for another data type. So here, the typedef keyword was used to give a name to our structure, and the name that we chose for our structure is called clock. And as you can see inside of our clock structure, the hour, minute, and second variables are defined with the integer variable type, which makes sense, right? Every clock needs an hour, minute, and second counter for it to be an effective clock. You need those values in order to tell someone what time it is. In this code, there are two functions declared, one to increment our clock and another to show or display the time after it has been incremented. Overall, the logic of the code is pretty straightforward, so I will not spend too much time on the nitty-gritty details. That is unless if you guys want me to do so in these videos. But let's take a closer look at the functions and see what is happening. For the increment function, it does what you would expect. It increments the clock, meaning it adds a second to the second variable of our clock structure until it hits 60. Right, at which point it will increment the minute and so on and so forth. We all know how a clock works, so I will not bore you with the details. But one thing to highlight here though is how we are referencing the elements or variables inside of our structure. Remember that our clock structure has a variable for hour, minute, and second. So in order to reference those variables, we can use the arrow symbol as shown in the code, which is literally a dash and a greater than symbol on the keyboard. So you can see the method is repeated throughout the entire code and for when we want to reference an element inside of our structure. The same goes for the show function. In order to print the current time, where we display the hour, minute, and second, we reference those values using the arrow symbol again. So in general, this is how you reference an element inside of a structure in C. And lastly, inside of a main function, you can see the clock structure is initialized. In this case, we are setting a list of values to our clock structure, similar to the way that you would declare an array, right? With each value corresponding to the variables inside of the structure. So the first one will be the hour, second will be the minute, third will be for seconds, and so on and so forth, right? That emphasizes the fact that the order in which you initialize your structure variable matters. And then over here, we have a for loop that is used to increment the clock 6 times just for demonstration purposes. To make it more realistic, we could have made this code run forever and then wait a second before incrementing the second variable, but this is just for demonstration purposes. So it just runs a for loop 6 times and display the clock each time. Another thing to pay attention to is the fact that the address of the clock structure is passed into the function, allowing us to change the values of the structure directly or display them without having to pass down each individual clock value, right? That is because we can access it directly using the arrow symbol since we have the address. And this technique is passed by address. I already covered this in an earlier video. I will leave a link to that video down in the description. So feel free to reference that video if you need a refresher on pass by address. And yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. If this was useful, please leave a like on this video. For this channel, I explain coding concepts through examples and also answer general questions about engineering and career based on my own experiences and knowledge. So if that sounds like something that may be useful to you, also consider subscribing to the channel and join my Facebook group where you can post relevant questions about programming and career in general, and I will try my best to answer them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you and bye.